Hi everybody, this is Fawn Germer, and this is a special solo version of the Hard Won Wisdom podcast. I am here in Banff, Alberta, Canada. It's happy hour, and I'm at the Fairmont Banff Springs Resort, which is the most, look at this place, right? It's amazing. All of Banff is amazing. We've been hiking, and I've been enjoying my friends and seeing the wildlife. And I just have to tell you a little about what's been going on in life, because I've learned some things, my own hard-won wisdom, that you might connect with. So hang with me for a few minutes. There's going to be some background noise because the best setting I could find is in the middle of the outdoor bar. So endure that, hang with me, and let's talk for a minute about what the heck got me to this patio in this moment in my life. So this has been a very weird year in terms of people that I care about dying young, a lot of them. Just last week, I lost a friend who was 70, and the week before, I found out I'd lost a friend who was 64. My friend Wendy Barmore died this year. She's 67 years old, a rock star. Literally, kept playing rock and roll music. She's the heartbeat of our town. She's the youngest person you'd ever see, and she had a stroke, and she's gone. And a number of other friends from 58 up, and it was a real call to action to me to live my life now, to stop putting off the one thing I knew I wanted to do, which was get a van and travel the country with my crazy dog. And I'm having the most amazing experience of my life. 62 years old, I have never been happier, never been more relaxed, never been more centered. And this is your call to action, to think about what it is that you want to do for you, that you've been waiting on. Don't wait. We don't know what's coming. There's not one person in that group of friends that left that thought they were going to be dying this year. And so, live now. And so I've made a few slides for you all so that you could see a little of the experience with me. So hang with me here. Okay. So let's put this here. I'm calling this episode, I don't know what day it is. My roots are an inch long. I've gained a few, and all is right with the world. Because let me tell you something, it is all right with the world. Because I have never had such an extended period of time where I've lived right in the moment. And that is the best therapy you can have, when you're not worrying about what's coming and not obsessing about what happened in the past. When you're right now, you get to be happy. So, some lessons from the road. If you wait to live your life, you may forget that you are already living your life. Time is passing, and today is for you to design.
There is, I think, 3 dispensaries in Banff. There's Canna Cabana.
We had a little incident happening here.
I know it's illegal in Australia. It's illegal in the States. So.
We'll have to edit that out. Oh no, whatever. My dog is misbehaving. Okay, so anyhow, you're living your life today. What are you doing today that made today different than yesterday? What are you doing that made this fun? And it's on you, because you don't get to do this day over again when it's more convenient, or when you have hit some magic age when you're allowed to do whatever you want. You got today. And how are you spending that? This was early in my trip, so I've been gone 7 weeks now, and this is when my dog Sunny, who is the best partner in crime you could ever want, Sunny got to Palo Duro Canyon in Texas. And this is a Florida dog, and he looked out at that canyon, and he just stared at it like, what is this? And I love this picture because it's a great picture of my dog, but more than anything, it's a great inspiration for all of us to start looking at the world with that wide-eyed wonderment of saying, what is this? What are we going to do with this experience? How lucky are we to have all of this going on in front of us and see it for all that it's worth? So let's take a page from Sunny. I'd say this picture is probably one of my greatest achievements. I'm at the Colorado border, and I remember crossing that border and feeling like I did it. And I think that's what I posted on Facebook. Well, we did it. And I'll tell you, something interesting happened. It was my goal because I had lived in Colorado for 8.5 years, but moved away 26 years ago. And it's always been like my second home, even though I haven't been there in a long time. And the number of people who saw my post and said, welcome home, it warmed my heart. And to get contacted by so many people that I knew that I thought had, really forgotten about me and were just Facebook contacts and all wanting to get together, wonderful. Just a wonderful thing. And to drive cross country and do this, I had to dive into a discomfort zone that even I had trouble managing, because most people know I'll do just about anything. But before I left, I had this great fear that I was going to be out there camping and there were going to be these serial killers hiding in the weeds, and they were going to jump out and jump in my van and kill me and my dog. The fear went away as soon as I got out of the state of Florida. Then it was on. I was having my adventure. I was seeing so many of my friends, and every day was something new. And to the point where it didn't matter if I was alone in the wilds, because I feel safe. Before I left, I really was worried about my safety, and I got trained on how to use a gun. I didn't know if that was something for me, and I posted that question on Facebook and said, what do you think? And a lot of people said, do it. And then some people said, try this instead. And I wound up in the category of try this instead. There are some other protection measures that I think are pretty good that I've got. But I had to go in this thing and say to myself, yes, I am a 62-year-old woman. I am alone. I do have a wonderful dog who will protect me, but I can protect myself, and I believe in myself. And suddenly when I did that, I felt all of this power, because I'm doing it. I'm living. I'm just out there not worrying about the serial killer in the weeds. If the serial killer is there, I will deal with it when it happens. Hope it turns out okay, but it's not going to stop me from this wonderful, wonderful moment. And when I did it and started grooving on the staying in the van in this very tight space, something great happened, and it was perfect sleep. I sleep all night. I put my head on the pillow, I crash. I don't have a care in the world. And from my title here, I started talking about the things that a lot of us obsess. Like, I thought, I want to let my roots go out because I want to see what it looks like natural. And to do that, in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I had someone cut off all my hair because I really want to see if I can stop coloring my hair. I mean, it's a charade, people. If you think that's my real hair, it isn't. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to have these long roots, and I have a history of being the worst cook in the world, so I haven't been eating like I should. So I put on a few. But every day I wake up, and when I say, my shorts are a little tight, I feel absolute gratitude because I'm here. I'm alive. And I've got some dear friends who are not. And this is my moment. I'm healthy. I can hike, better than I ever expected. And that's because right before I left, I took a fall, and the orthopedic surgeon told me I needed to have my knee replacement replaced. And he said, stay on paved paths. I haven't had to do that. I've been living my life. I've been doing some harder trails, and I've been cycling, and yeah, I've been getting a lot of exercise, but not eating right. But doesn't matter. I'm alive. I'm going to make peace with everything because I'm the best I could possibly be today. So that's why happy hour. I got to see my friend Dean Crakel when I was going through Colorado. Dean is a dear friend. He's a great photographer and a great photo editor. And he had a couple of mini strokes, three of them. And he almost died. And we started talking about how things have changed for us, how our bodies have kind of betrayed us. He was looking at this mountain behind his home and he said, you know, I used to be able to run to the top of that in 30 minutes. And then he said, and then it was 40 minutes. And he goes, a year ago it was an hour. And he says, don't even ask me how long it takes right now. And that meant something to me because I used to be a pretty accomplished endurance cyclist when I lived there. So I cycled almost every pass in the state of Colorado. My record was 7 passes in a day. That's 230 miles of mountains starting at 1:30 in the morning and going for 19 hours. I would just like to be able to do one, I thought. And Dean chilled me out. And Dean was the guy, he had retired early and done the Colorado Trail as a backpacker and then the Continental Divide Trail. And, okay, so maybe I'm not who I used to be. But there might be another path to find joy and fulfillment doing things within the limits that are coming to my body as I grow older. I miss my hair in that picture. Okay, so. And then, okay, so there have been some other realizations because I'm somebody, I take pictures all the time. And I'm working on this. It's because I was a journalist. I feel the need to record everything and then share it, you know, in a timely manner, like I'm on deadline on Facebook. And I've started to wonder, you know, if you have that habit, you've got to get the picture of it. And I say to myself, if I didn't take this picture, did I actually see this? Did it actually happen? And we saw some bighorn sheep today, and I took the picture, and I took the picture of the bighorn sheep, and I should have been staring at the sheep, but I got my shot. So I'm working on this, and I'm trying to figure out if it's possible to actually spend a day not recording anything of the spectacular trip and just record it in my memory. I'm not there yet, but it's worth discussing. This was a good lesson for me, and it will apply to anything that happens when you are facing adversity. And like I said, my orthopedic surgeon told me that because I've done so many athletic things since my knee replacement, it needs a revision. I got on a trail in Aspen that I used to do, and I forgot how hard it was. And it's a trail that has a number of boulder fields. Now, you see all the rocks here? That's nothing. In this picture, add about 5,000 more rocks, and you'll know what I had to cross. And there were a number of these boulder fields. And I realized I had forgotten my knee brace. I wasn't supposed to be on something like that at all. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it one step at a time. And I went left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, and took my time. And I got there. Now, why that's important is your life is going to often be a boulder field like that. And nobody's career and nobody's life goes straight up. It's never a ride straight to success. It's always going to go. But if you just do the next thing and take the next step, just a little bit at a time, sooner or later, you get where you need to go. And so it felt good to learn that lesson for my body as well. One step at a time, I'll get where I need to go. And that meant getting on my bike again and climbing in the mountains. This is more of a story than it should have been because 2 years ago I had a pretty bad cycling accident that gave me a bad concussion, gave me a memory problem that a neurologist told me that it looked like I had early onset dementia or Alzheimer's. And all of that also played in my desire to get the trip and do that. Turned out he was wrong. I don't have that. I'm fine. The worst I have are some senior moments. But getting on a bike in the mountains, where on the other side of a mountain, you might be going downhill at 50 miles an hour on a road bike. So I had to calculate the risk I'm willing to take with my love of my sport. And this was the first day that I got back on my bicycle. And it's significant because it was a steep mountain. The grade was probably 7 or 8%. So it was steep, but it was not that long. It's probably maybe a mile up. And my goal was just get up that grade. And I thought if you have to, you can zigzag because that breaks the grade in half. And there weren't many cars. And I got down there, and guess what? I made it to the top. And I thought to myself, wow, I wonder if I can do it again. So I went back down and I did it again. And I got to the top and I thought, I wonder if I can do it again. And I did it again. And by the time I was done, I had done it 4 times, didn't want to do it a fifth, but I could still climb. And I've had some great experiences in the mountains since. But I have had to confront my fear of another accident, which is a real fear and something that, you can't ignore this because it's a safety thing. So anyhow, that was part of it. Okay. And then as entertainment right now, for you getting this far into this video, I have to show you what my dog started doing. And I noticed in Wyoming, I call him the mountain kangaroo. He just started doing this. And I'll put him out in the big field and he'll just jump in that high grass for the longest time. He'll do it, 50 times. He just loves doing it. Again, we should all live our lives like Sonny. It would make us all happy. Come on. I don't know why this is not. Hang with me, people. I think that this video is so adorable you have to keep watching it because. Okay, now we can change. All right, best moment of the trip. This shocked me. I'm not even in the mountains. I'm in Montana in a place called Three Forks, and I'm staying on a farm, and there's a way you can camp in some of these things called Harvest House. I'm the only person camping there. And look what I saw. I was all by myself. They have 24,000 acres of property there. And I walked Sonny in the morning, and I walked him 2 miles there and back, and I still hadn't reached the end of their property. And seeing that sunset, it was so inspiring. I cried. And the sunrise was good too. So, just saying, wherever you are, the sun rises and it sets. There's beauty everywhere. So find those moments and dive into them. This is me kayaking in Glacier National Park. Now, what's important here is that I was with some friends and I had to be so mindful in that moment because I knew that was a moment that I was going to remember for the rest of my life. Look how amazing those mountains are. And to be paddling in that pristine lake, and it's quiet and it's gorgeous. It's just so perfect. One of the most perfect moments of my life. And instead of worrying about anything or thinking about the pictures, which I wanted the pictures. Come on, if I didn't get the picture, did it happen? But the whole time I said, you're going to remember this moment for the rest of your life. This is that moment. Be here. So that's a good thing to remember. When you're having something good, experience it, drink it in the whole way. And right now, this is my uncomplicated life. I thought I would share it with you. It's kind of messy. This is my van. It's small. It's got a refrigerator, a 2-burner stove, a sink, a couch, my bed, and a porta potty. That's my life. But it's so wonderful because I can come and go and everything is with me, and it's so uncomplicated. I don't have to worry about what's coming in the mail. I don't have to do anything. And I feel so fortunate to be here doing this. I feel fortunate to be here doing this, having you. So, hang with me on this. And then in those moments when you feel fat, wrinkled, or less than perfect, remember, at least you are alive. At least you're alive. When I lost my friend Nancy last week, boy, that was kind of another 1-2 punch because Nancy was big in my town, as was Wendy, and she'd been on top of her game, had gone on a cruise. She called it the cruise of a lifetime. 2 weeks in Europe, cruising her best self with her best friend, and then came back. She had COPD, and her lungs were too weak to fight off whatever bacteria or viral thing she picked up, and she died. And to me, that says if you wake up, you're alive, make peace with who you are, because you're perfect. A healthy body is a perfect body. So this is the day after she died. I've cleaned up this photo for you because I was with my friends. We were in Glacier. We walked next to the stream, and it was, as you can see, clear to the bottom. And I said, I'm going in. And everybody's like, you can't do that. I'm like, I'm going in. And they're like, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going in. So I took off my clothes, and they only took off their bras. Now, what I don't get is that's the part that's up above the water, but they had their panties on. But whatever. You only live once. If you see a pristine stream and you think you can get away with it, dive in. So we had the best time. We laughed so hard. We just loved every minute of it. We drank that moment in. It was so great. Then we got out and we put on our clothes. And I'm not kidding. 1 minute after we dressed, this parade of kayaks came down. So we got out just in time. So this picture is the Going to the Sun Road in Glacier National Park. It has meaning to me because I have wanted to cycle it since I was in my 30s. And that was my goal. I was going to cycle the Going to the Sun Road. And people kept warning me, it's too narrow, it's dangerous, don't do it. And I kept thinking, I have cycled so many passes, I know what I'm doing. And I got there and I thought, okay, I'm going to drive up the pass and check it out before I go. And I did. And this is what you see. And at this time, it was late in the evening, and it's unusual in this picture because I think you can see one car back there, but there are a lot of cars on this road. And when you have two cars next to each other, if you're the cyclist on the side, you've got a problem. And I kept talking myself into it, and I was saying, I think I can do this, and probably will not have an accident. Probably. It's unlikely. Odds are in my favor. And so I was talking myself into it. And then some man had started walking up on the side to get a picture of a waterfall. And there was a car next to me. And then, of course, there was my van. And honestly, I was 2 inches from clipping him. And I hit the brakes. I thought, you dumb ass. And I thought, wow, if I'd been cycling, I'd be where that dumbass was too. And I realized it wasn't safe. And as I was making my decision, I asked myself, if I could not tell anybody I did it, would I still do it? And that's a really good question to ask yourself. Are you doing it for bragging rights? And I thought about it, and the answer was, yeah, I really wanted to do it. But the one thing I wanted more than riding that ride was coming home alive, not having another head injury. So guess what? I didn't do it. I did not do the Going to the Sun Road. Instead, I did a beautiful hike to a mountain lake and had a great day. And if that's not meant to be, not meant to be, you know. Another lesson, take the detour. My friend Jen told me you got to go to East Glacier, and it was so out of the way and didn't want to do it. She goes, you got to go to Many Glacier. And look what I saw. So sometimes you are called upon to do things that are not convenient. Just do it. It's just a ride. It's just a little bit of time. And whether it's seeing somebody you haven't seen in a while, or doing something that's inconvenient, just try it. Fill your life with different things. The more you get used to doing things that put you in your discomfort zone, the easier it is to go into your discomfort zone. And then finally, be here now. This is a very happy moment for me because this was filmed near here in Banff. The first time that I went cycling in the mountains was when I was married a million years ago. So I'm in my, well, at that time I was 30 years old, and um, we were in Lake Louise, and I rented a bike, and I rode all the way from Lake Louise to Banff. And I saw this mountain, and it looked exactly like it looks in this picture. And it was like, wow, I'm going to be a cyclist. And I came home, and I've cycled all over the world, and I've had a great time, right? But I'm reaching different limits. And I learned something about my sport the other night, and that is, even though I only did 20 miles that day, those are the best 20 miles I've done in years. And so things may change a little bit. I'm just here to soak up the scenery and have a good time. And so, pretty much, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm here. I'm enjoying. My friend Terry's here with me. I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying every minute of this big adventure. Somebody said, "When are you coming home?" I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Labor Day. If it's Labor Day, it's a month from today. Maybe sooner, maybe later. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm going to take this moment and run with it. And I have to ask you, what are you waiting for? Don't wait. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. We don't know what's coming. Just take things one step at a time. Go forward. Make peace with being afraid. If you have to do something alone, even better, because when you do it, you realize how powerful and wonderful you are. So go have a great day. Please go do something different. And I'll check in with you soon. Miss you all. Bye.